Hey everyone! The form we're going to be using today is very easy to conjugate. You just take a verb stem, you attach 든 and optionally 지. Most of the time it'll be 든지, but you can also use 든. They have the same meaning. The way this form works is you're actually going to use it twice. So you'll take a verb and then you'll take usually the opposite meaning or something that has a different meaning and you'll attach it afterwards. For example, 하든지 안 하든지, or 있든지 없든지, or maybe here instead of 안 하든지 you can have 하든지 못 하든지, or if you're using a command 하든지 말든지, 말다 meaning to not do something or to stop doing something. There's one more thing you also need to know about this, and that is about the verb stem. Optionally, you could use a past tense verb stem. So you could say something like 했든지 있었든지 없었든지. So you could use it with a past tense, but only if you need to emphasize it. Most of the time you don't. But you cannot use a future tense verb stem. So you could not say 하겠든지 or anything like that. So what this form means is it can translate either to whether or regardless. But I don't want you to only think of this form in terms of English translation, because there are other ways you could translate whether from English. What this form is used for is to show that there are multiple options to choose from, and that any of those choices is fine. There are multiple things, and any choice is fine. So whether you do that or you do that, it doesn't matter, is what it implies. Regardless of whether you do something or do that, or don't do that, or whether it's this or whether it's that, it doesn't matter. Any choice is fine. 멀든지 가깝든지. Whether it's far, 가깝든지. Whether it's close, 꼭 가야 돼요. I have to go. But up to this part, we can already kind of assume the feeling of the sentence. 멀든지. Whether it's far, it doesn't matter. Or whether it's far, that's okay, is what the feeling of this sentence gives us. Even when we've only gotten up to here. We hear 멀든, we know, oh, the sentence has to imply that the speaker doesn't have a preference, that they're thinking it's okay, doesn't matter. It's okay if it's far. 가깝든지. It's okay if it's close. Whether it is close or far, doesn't matter. But the end of the sentence is 꼭 가야 돼요. So whether it's far or close, it doesn't matter. I have to go. 멀든지 가깝든지 꼭 가야 돼요. So I have to go, regardless of whether it's far or close. 지금 하든지 나중에 하든지 상관없어요. 지금 하든지, whether or regardless of whether you do it now, 지금, or regardless of whether you do it 나중에, later, doesn't matter whether you do it now or do it later. As soon as we get to this part of the sentence, 지금 하든지, we already know the speaker's feeling. The nuance of the sentence is already finished. I don't care, or it's okay, or that's fine. You'll often see this form used after any question word. Question words can be used on their own with this form without having a second verb after them. And a question word would be something like what, where, when, anything like that is a question word. Let me give you some common examples. 무엇이든지 or 뭐든지. So whatever, whatever, as in whatever it is, it's okay, or it doesn't matter, or it's fine, or that's good. 어디, where, 어디든지, wherever. 누구, who, 누구든지, whoever. Note, you would never say 누가든지 because 누가 is actually 누구 plus 가. 언제, when, 언제든지, whenever. 한국어는 누구든지 배울 수 있어요. 한국어는, so Korean, 배울 수 있어요, can learn. So 누구든지, 누구 is who, 누구든지, whoever. So literally this sentence is 한국어는 누구든지 배울 수 있어요. So Korean, whoever can learn it. So whoever can learn Korean. But when you're translating this to English, whoever only works in certain uses. You might say, I don't mind whoever comes. But if you're saying whoever does something, we wouldn't say whoever in that situation. We would say anyone, anybody. So when you translate these question words that have 든지, most of the time, any is going to be a better translation. So 무엇이든지 or 뭐든지, not whatever, but it could also be anything. 어디든지, not just wherever, but anywhere. 누구든지, not just whoever, but anyone. And then finally, the other one, 언제든지, not just whenever, but anytime. And that's just based on the context. 언제든지 전화하세요. So call me. 언제. When. Ever. Call me whenever. Or call me anytime. 언제든지 전화하세요. So call me whenever. Call me anytime. The most common usage of the 든지 form is, however, with a question word, but a little bit different. I said that when you use a question word together with 든지, you don't use a second verb. But you can also use a verb stem with 든지 without a second verb if you're using a question word in the sentence. 누가, so 누구가, 누가 하든지 상관없어요. So it doesn't matter whoever, or just it doesn't matter who does it. 누가 하든지. Who does it? We already get the feeling of it doesn't matter, even before we get to here. 누가 하든지 상관없어요. Doesn't matter who does it. 저는 지금, so I, right now, 어떤 음식이든지. 어떤 is what kind. 음식, 어떤 음식을 좋아하세요? What kind of food do you like? So what kind of food? 이든지. Regardless of what kind of food it is 이다, 다, all of it, 먹다, to eat. 먹을 수 있어요. I can eat anything. I can eat all of it, regardless of what kind of food it is. 이다. 어떤 음식이에요? What kind of food is it? 어떤 음식이든지. So regardless of what kind of food it is, 다 먹을 수 있어요. I can eat it all. 저는 지금 어떤 음식이든지 다 먹을 수 있어요. So right now, I could just eat anything, no matter what it is. 무슨 색이든 다 좋아요. So 무슨 means what. It's an adjective. So in this case, 무슨 색이에요? What color is it? 무슨 색이다. It is. So 무슨 색이든. So regardless of what color it is, 상관없어요. Doesn't matter. 다 좋아요. They're all good. 무슨 색이든 다 좋아요. Any color is good. They're all good. 무슨 색이든 다 좋아요. 영희는, so 영희, 화장을 하다 is to do makeup. 화장을 했든지 안 했든지 예뻐요. So whether she did makeup or not, literally whether she did makeup or whether she didn't do makeup, she's pretty. So 영희's pretty whether she did or didn't do makeup. This 든지 form is actually similar meaning to the 이나 form and the 거나 form. Now, 이나 is used after nouns and 거나 is used after a verb stem, but they have generally the same meaning. 든지 has a similar meaning as both of these forms. However, it has a different nuance, as we already learned, and it has a different usage. If you're expressing that you don't really care, you don't have a preference, then you could use either. You could say 언제나 전화하세요. 언제든지 전화하세요. Call me whenever. And if you're specifically using the verb 이다, you can get 이든지 or 이나. Like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They have the same meaning and the same usage. However, 이나 is not used when you're actually making a choice. 이나 is simply used, as I've taught before in my lessons, when you're saying meh or something, meh or nothing. So you're not actually making your choice when you're using 이나. So if you're actually making a choice, you have to use 든지. You cannot just switch it with 이나. 이나 shows that the speaker has no preference. So again, like or something or nothing at all. And 이나 can be used on its own without a second choice. You have to use 든지 with a second form or with a question word. Also, 이나 is not used with the past tense, whereas 든지 can be. Also, 아무 is not used with 든지. So you wouldn't say 아무든지. One more note, there is a different unrelated form, 던지. This is not 든지, but often gets confused with 든지 because of the sound. So you might hear people pronouncing 든지 as 던지. Just know that it's different. Okay, that's the lesson. Take care, and I will see you next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.